everyone, welcome to Rezzies and Redeyes with Zoey and Andrew. We're here to share our travel stories, foodie adventures, and tips to make every trip unforgettable, all with a lot of laughs along the way.
And we're so excited to have you here along for the ride
You can check out our photo and video highlights from all our journeys on our Instagram account.
at Rezzies and Redeyes. And if you have a story, a travel hack, or a question you want us to cover, send us a DM. Your passenger notes might just get featured on the show. And if you're enjoying the podcast, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. It really helps more foodies and travelers find us.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's do it. Yeehaw.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining in for our second episode of Rezzies and Redeyes. We actually wanted to use this episode to go into our Michelin restaurants that we went to while we were there in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, we're so excited to share with you guys all the fun food that we got to eat and our experiences at both those restaurants.
Yeah, we actually went to two restaurants there. One was Oro, which is a 2-star, and the other was Me, which is the sushi restaurant there in the Copacabana Palace, which is a 1-star.
Our first omakase, and it was incredible.
And once again, remember, this was after Zoe had awful, awful food poisoning.
Yes, I managed to down an entire omakase sitting.
So before we get into our thoughts and our review of this excellent restaurant, we wanted to hit on our feedback and questions from our first episode on Rio.
Our passenger notes. Let's do it.
Okay, let's get into it.
All right, Andrew, go ahead.
Okay. So let me get my notes here for the question. Okay. So we have a question from Stormy's mom. She lives in downtown Los Angeles, and she actually
Right
given
up
us
the road.
up the road. Yeah, like,
Huh.
30 minutes with no traffic, an hour and a half with traffic. But yeah, sure.
That's generous.
Right. She's asking, actually, it's more of a feedback question. Actually, she says, contrary to what you all believe, the Statue of Liberty is much taller than Christ the Redeemer. And I didn't believe it at first because, like we said in our last episode, Christ the Redeemer looked huge.
I mean, he did look huge, but apparently there is a significant difference. So that's good to know.
Yeah, it's not good. I was hoping actually when I looked up the numbers that it was going to be maybe off by like 50 feet. It's like 200 feet. So when I looked at the numbers, the Statue of Liberty is like over 300 feet tall, and Christ the Redeemer is over 100 feet tall. So it's like 3 times taller. So I was way off.
Well, everything's huge when you're 4 feet tall. So
That's true, actually. You're 5 feet tall, baby.
4
Don't
foot,
worry.
11.
You're 5 feet. Don't worry. Don't sell yourself short.
Thank you.
So we don't want to spread any false information on this podcast. So we are correcting that last statement that I made on the previous episode. So let it stand that the Statue of Liberty is much taller than Christ the Redeemer.
Noted.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Stormy's mom.
Thank you for the question, Stormy's mom. We appreciate it. Real fast to our question on our YouTube page to Ramon Romero in Santa Rosa. He asked, does Cleo travel with us when we go on trips?
The answer is no, she does not. She would probably not do too great in the sun, doesn't like the sand, and would rather stay inside.
But if you know of any great kitty SPF 1000, because she is hairless, we're all ears over here.
And tails.
So, yeah, let's get into our experience that we had at our 1-star omakase experience that we had at the Copacabana Palace while we were in Rio.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So just briefly on the restaurant itself, it actually opened in 2014 and it got its Michelin star very quickly, actually. It only took 1 year, and in 2015 it achieved that. It was pioneered by Chef Alberto Murasawa, who is born in Sao Paulo of Japanese descent. and really directed the restaurant in a way that was able to get it that prestigious mark very quickly after its opening.
Yeah, I think, the chef did a great job. The restaurant is an amazing vibe, like, it's very exotic, and the location in the Copacabana Palace, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So I think it's very impressive that they were able to do that in a year, and they've held that star for
Yeah. Over
over
10
10
years
years.
now. Yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
incredible.
Yeah. Our chef was Chef Michael Granata, who was just fantastic.
Oh, he was so great.
He was
He
so nice.
he really made the whole omakase experience feel exactly how it's supposed to.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So tell us about what it was like getting over to the Copacabana.
Well, first, I don't know if you knew this, but omakase actually translates to I trust you. And so this experience is all about trusting the chef and all his preparations.
I trust you too.
I trust you. I trust you, Chef Michael Granata.
And yes, we trust Chef Michael Granata, definitely.
Yeah, so Copacabana Palace was actually just right down the street from where we were staying at the Fairmont. And so we just took a Uber down probably 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was super quick, like 10 minutes at that time. No traffic out there, and valet service obviously out front. Uh, we had to sort of navigate a little bit through the hotel itself though, because I don't remember, were there any signs? I don't remember there being any signs there.
I don't remember there being any signs, but
Mhm.
once you walk into the Copacabana Palace, you can just take a left,
I don't remember.
walk down to the pool, and it's actually the
Oh,
courtyard
you're right.
pool is where the restaurants are. So one of
Yes.
the restaurants bars is to the left of the pool, and me is down to the other side.
Right, yeah. So we mentioned this on the last episode. We said maybe we should have stayed at the Copacabana Palace, but I think we both felt that when we saw the pool, because the pool was very nice.
Yeah, and it was at nighttime too. It seemed like a lot livelier than the Fairmont, I would say, in terms of
Yes.
like nightlife, which is nice. And it has like the very classic old Copacabana feel, what you would expect from like old Brazil, Rio.
Yeah.
So it has like the pink carpet, the pink umbrellas. It just feels like, I don't know, you're stepping back in time, which you technically are because that
Yeah.
hotel is, I mean, iconic.
From the 40s and 50s, I believe. But yeah, very elegant, very nice, interior and hotel when we were going through. But I still couldn't find the restaurant even after we made it to the pool. Then I think we had to ask someone,
Yeah, somebody took us right to
and then
it.
they walked us over.
Yeah, it wasn't too
Okay.
bad, but yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
we got there,
We got there in time for our reservation, which is always a plus. So what do you think about the
especially since
restaurant
I'm always
itself?
running late.
Once again, you have a pass because you were deathly ill the night before.
Oh, thank you.
What do you think about the ambiance of the restaurant?
Yeah, it was very cozy
Yeah,
and, very modern compared to the rest of the hotel.
definitely small for
Small,
sure.
it was very intimate.
Yeah,
Not a lot of tables, but I mean, they all seemed pretty full too,
yeah.
and yeah,
Ye-
I would definitely do a table there.
yeah. I mean, so because we did the omakase, we sat at the bar setting, which probably would seat a maybe about 8 people if I had to guess. There was no one with us. We were the only ones there at the bar doing the omakase. And then there were maybe about 10 to 15 tables spread out. So it was a small, intimate restaurant for sure.
Yeah, I was kinda surprised to see nobody else was doing the omakase, but I think it was, like, a Tuesday night we went,
How
or
much was the
Monday.
omakase?
I don't know, I didn't pay. How
Sure you
much
did,
was it?
baby. We share everything. So the omakase was 950 reals there, which comes out to about 187 US dollars. So at least I think if you're dining in, any major city in the United States, I think obviously much cheaper.
Oh, I mean, yeah, omakase seats here in LA go for a couple $100 at
Let's
least with no Michelin star. I mean, the Michelin restaurants here cost probably what, 400, 300,
Oh yeah,
some
oh
of
easily,
them
yeah.
$800.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I feel like it was a pretty good
I thought
price.
it was yeah, totally reasonable. You can add on a couple of pairings. You can either do a sake pairing or do a Reinhardt champagne pairing. The Reinhardt champagne pairing is almost like 2,000 reals on top of the omakase price, and then the sake pairing, what was it? Another about
900.
900. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we didn't do that. Like I said, it was the end of our trip, and Zoe was still sort of recovering from being
Yeah, if
sick.
I did an entire sake pairing, I wouldn't have been able to leave that restaurant, but so we just did some cocktails.
We just did cocktails. Well, what did you get, baby?
Well, I got there around the globe. It was like a gin cocktail
Yeah,
that you guys can see in our video that we're gonna post.
it tasted like a gin and tonic.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. It just came in like a cool cup, so I wanted it. But I actually hate tonic, so I gave it to Andrew.
And then I got my usual Manhattan, which when we do our New York episode, Zoe got me started on Manhattans, and every time I talk about what drink I get, it's going to be a Manhattan, and it was fine. It was good.
Yeah, they have a great bartender there, mixologist.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, yeah, they had a good drink menu.
So after we got our drinks, they introduced us to Chef Michael Granada, who gave us a rundown of what to expect with this meal.
Yeah, I he was fabulous chef. He kind of showed us his whole box that he had prepared for us
Yeah.
and kind of showed us each fish that we will be eating. And I mean, yeah, I was very impressed by the presentation.
How was his English?
English was actually pretty good, but he kept apologizing for his accent because he had just started speaking English, what, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. He said he had literally started learning English 2 weeks ago, and he speaks better English than I speak Spanish. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I wish I could do that. No, it was great.
So what was a really nice touch was I had actually asked for a listing of everything we were going to get because obviously we knew we were going to do the podcast episode on this, so we wanted to be able to give all of you listeners more information on what we were eating during this meal.
Yeah, so traditionally with an omakase, it's kind of up to the chef, whatever they're making. There's no set menu. It's just kind of what they're feeling for the night. So there wasn't a menu prepared, obviously, but
Obviously.
they were so kind. The front of the house
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
did you get his
I
name?
didn't get his name.
He was incredible. He went while we were getting our omakase course and prepared an entire menu, typed it out by hand, and had it printed out for us.
Yeah, which is great. And then gave it to us and we were able to leave with it. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, he even apologized for the quality of paper that he had to print it
He
on
did. I
because the
forgot
printer was
that.
broken.
Yeah, he did.
It's just on regular paper, which is totally fine, but
It was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
yeah.
I couldn't believe he had the whole menu with such a detail. So
Yeah, and of course he had to coordinate with the chef to ensure that everything was right
yeah.
and
Hmm.
yeah, it was great. A
So
nice touch.
yeah, we appreciate that. So following that, Chef Granada started our omakase tour. What did we start with?
We started with our hot appetizer and we did the miso and mushroom soup, which I mean, most of us have had a miso soup before, but this
Not like
was
this.
fabulous. This was
Not like this.
so good. Yeah, I loved the mushroom that was in it. What did you think of it?
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a perfect way to start the meal because it was very homey. It had excellent salt. The mushroom itself, what kind of mushroom was it? Portobello?
Not portobello. It better not have been.
The mushroom was delicious. I got to look back at the menu and see what it was, but yeah, no, very homey. It was comfort food just to start off the meal, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with a miso soup.
Yeah.
So
And then he followed that up with a also I thought very homey meal as well.
the nutsuki. Yeah, so this was a traditional Japanese porridge. Came in a cute little bowl, had some black cod in there. Uh which of course was all local with some daikon radishes, carrots, and ginger. This was very, like, also comfort food,
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
cozy.
Mild flavor. It was, yeah, very nice. A hot, another hot dish, which was enjoyable.
Lord knows I needed some soup on my stomach, so this was a great way to start.
And then following that, we got into the best part of the meal, which is the fish.
Sashimi.
Sashimi. I thought it was all very, very mild flavors. I think as far as the whole dinner itself, which I thought was excellent, I did think this was probably the part of the meal that was maybe lacking just a little bit of flavor.
Yeah, I think the 3 different types of local fish that were served, they all kind of tasted very similar, but not fishy at all. So maybe it was a good way to start since it didn't have a lot of strong flavors. But yeah, I think that was a good beginner fish course, especially for the flavor explosion that we got next.
Yeah, so this was something actually I've never actually traditionally liked. I don't think you don't like uni either, do you?
This might have been my first time actually having uni,
Okay, yeah.
which, if you guys don't know, that's sea urchin,
Yeah.
and it has a very distinctive briny, ocean water taste.
Yeah, sweet. Sweetness.
Can be sweet.
Can be sweet. I think mostly for me, it's always been like sort of consistency issue with uni,
It's kinda like a booger.
kind of like mushy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the way they served it here at the restaurant, they served it in a sea urchin shell, which reminded me of the sea urchins we saw in Hawaii when we were there that almost stabbed me.
Yeah.
So it gave me a little bit of fright, but they served it on a chilled platter of ice with the sea urchin shell and then the uni on top of it, which actually was a very nice presentation and kept the uni itself very chilled. And I thought actually tasted great.
I think that's what kind of made it so good was how cold they were able to keep it, and I did really enjoy the presentation because, like, how striking the, sea urchin shell can be with, like, this delicate piece of fish in the middle of it. What did we have next?
So we had a little collection of bluefin tuna with rice cake and salmon roe served in a cute little, like, almost like a half eggshell bowl.
Yeah, it was like this little, I guess it was like a little, like, egg with some, what, liquid or dry
It was like the
ice.
dry ice. Yeah.
Had the dry ice and a nice little crispy, bite with the, tuna.
Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed this one very much as well.
Yeah, I really loved the presentation for this one. It was a fun bite.
Yeah,
And you really need, like, a little bit of crispy here and there. So they did a great job with that one.
call that texture.
Good texture, especially after the prior booger.
That's true. So, following this, I actually moved into I would say, definitely the heart of the meal where he showed us his fish box, which was literally a box with all the different fish he was going to feed us, which all looked amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible. So, part of this fish box, he brought out a fresh wasabi stem, which I had never seen before. So, this was very cool to watch him prepare.
Zoe says that she's never seen this before. Before Zoe and I actually started eating sushi together, I didn't even know you could order fresh wasabi from Japanese restaurants.
I don't know if you knew this also, but typical American wasabi that we get at home is a mixture of horseradish and mustard and food dye.
Yeah,
So it's actually not wasabi at all.
right.
So most of us haven't even had real wasabi. It's actually very expensive, and so that's why we don't have it here. But the stem that you guys can see in the videos that we'll post, it's like this little, it looks like a root,
Yep.
but he shaved it in front of us and then kind of grinded it up
Hmm.
and made the wasabi paste. And then he let us try it off of his finger. Like,
Which
what a gentleman,
very, very nice. I love eating things off of men's hands. It's great.
baby. I love eating things off of your hands.
Cute. No, it was so fresh and powerful.
Very potent.
The flavor fresh off the root was very strong, but I like that flavoring, obviously.
I actually didn't find it that strong.
Really?
No, not as strong as, like, typical horseradish.
Hmm.
It was actually more mild than I was expecting.
So after he had everything prepared for us, he began going through the box of fish that he had prepared for us to eat on his omakase.
So, yeah, we first started off with a little bit of opah,
Mhm.
and that had a little bit of shisho underneath, which is just a Chinese basil, topped with a gochugaru, which is the Korean pepper.
Which he used, I think, several times throughout the meal, right?
He did use it, for a couple of different pieces,
Yeah.
like spice,
Hmm.
which I enjoyed. The opah was great.
Yeah. Oh, no. A great punch of flavors. Very nice.
Mhm.
Or what do we have next after that?
Next, we had the pescadinha with, topped with finger lime.
Pop rocks.
Yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed that one.
Also a nice little punch of flavor.
Yeah, I never had finger limes before, and he kinda, like he did the same thing with the wasabi. He opened one up and let us try it separately,
Hmm.
and if you've never seen finger limes, they're like if you crack it open, it's just like little balls,
Yeah. Right. Pop rocks.
and they burst in your mouth.
Yeah.
And yeah, it has, like, that light citrusy flavor.
Hmm.
It's great.
So, following that, then we had our Japanese saba, which is actually a type of mackerel, very buttery in consistency and a perfect punch of salt and acidity.
Yeah, I think I used the word butter to describe this experience 1,000 times because this all the fish was so good.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah, I loved the saba though. That was great.
And then following that, I am just a huge scallop fan, and that was what was next on his omakase. He served us this perfectly presented scallop, which I thought was just delicious.
Yeah, I hadn't really had too much scallops for sushi courses before.
Mm, yeah. It's like
Um,
I make you scallops all the time.
right, like I hadn't had sushi scallops until we had it together.
Yeah.
Um, it's definitely different than cooked scallops, but and they do cook it. They will not fully cook it, but they,
Right.
torch it
Yeah.
typically.
He torched it. Yeah.
And that was just topped with some namatake, and yeah, I mean, again, it was butter. It was so good. It's a big bite too,
It
a
was
big
big. Yeah.
scallop,
Big amount.
and I didn't know, like, what the difference between Canadian scallops. This one was definitely more mild flavor and sweet.
Sweeter,
Mhm.
definitely sweeter. Yeah, yeah. I mean, just the amount of food. I know we mentioned in the last episode, but the amount of food was not what you get at a typical. When you go out for sushi, it was a ton of food.
Oh, yeah, I left
Yeah.
stuffed.
So where did we go after the scallop?
So this next part was probably my favorite.
Loved it.
It was a 3 course of bluefin tuna, and I actually didn't know this, but each cut of it, the different names is the different cuts of the tuna. So kind of like a fillet on a steak or a ribeye.
Yeah.
It all comes from the same fish, but it's just different cuts, and it's just more, I guess, more fatty.
Yeah. Yeah.
The more
So
fatty pieces are the really good ones.
right. Yeah. So I mean, the bluefin itself is more fatty fish as as it is, and then he served us the different portions from the fish itself, and then he served it in different ways also.
Yeah, so we started off with the first piece, which was the akami, which is just a more traditional, tuna piece. I mean, it was great, obviously.
What do you top it with?
He did top that one off with a little bit of beluga caviar, which was incredible,
Yes, I'm a big
obviously.
caviar fan.
Yeah, loved that one, and then we moved on to the fancier bits, which were the chitoro and otoro, which are the fancier pieces of cut, and I mean, when you talk about melting in your mouth, it literally melted in your mouth.
It was excellent. I mean, this is the best sushi I've had, and you put this amazing sushi with caviar on top of it, and I'm just in heaven.
I mean, I agree, and chef let us pick one of our favorite pieces of the, omakase to have an extra one, and we both picked the otoro.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then he even topped the extra piece off with more
It was like a
caviar.
giant dollop of caviar.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I think this is why we're definitely leaning towards doing more chef's tables or omakases because it happened at our other restaurant we were there as well, where we were able to get an extra serving of whatever our favorite dish was. And so this was just
I think that's kind of
great.
like a standard for chef table too.
Yeah.
Is you get more of a personalized experience,
Yeah.
and it's fun just interacting with them too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, Chef Michael Granada was very gracious. He allowed us to speak with him while he was preparing the food, take photos and
Oh
everything. So
yeah,
he
he
was
loved
great.
it,
Yeah.
and I mean it's experience for them. I think sharing food is just a very intimate thing, so
Hmm.
it's a cool experience. So moving on from our bluefin tuna, what did we have next?
So we followed that up with our first crab course, which, if I love anything just as much as caviar, it's going to be crab. This was a king crab with a tobiko roe on top of it, and that was wrapped in a crisp nori.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. It was a great switch up of flavors, and the crab was very, like, it's just perfect.
The roe gave it the saltiness, and then the crab itself was sweet, and then the crispy outside gave it the texture. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was just like a very fresh flavor.
Yeah. Following this, we had Zoe's least favorite type of seafood, which is a prawn or shrimp.
Yeah, I mean, typically I don't love shrimp, but this was actually really yummy. And it was topped with candied pecans. Like he shaved them onto the shrimp, and yeah, it was good.
He gave it
With a little
sauce with it as
sauce,
well. Yeah.
whatever secret sauce that was, it was great. Yeah, nice little bite.
I still love you even if you don't like shrimp.
I still love you, even though you don't like what I like.
Okay, where do we go from there? Then we got into our red meat course.
Well, it's just one.
Yeah.
We had a little intermission between the fish courses.
Hmm.
And we did a nice little A5 Wagyu,
Yeah.
obviously also from Japan.
Which he torched as well.
He did do like a nice little torch on it.
Yeah.
Um,
So if you've ever had Wagyu before, marble just to perfection, melts in your mouth. It's great.
yeah, I mean, I love Wagyu. So whenever I was in Japan last time, I
Mm.
had this like popsicle of Wagyu, and I mean, best way to have it.
Gotta go to Japan.
Yeah, come on, baby.
So where do we go from there, baby?
So the next thing we had was a hand roll, which I love, and it was a squid that the technique that it took to prepare this was so impressive.
This looked like the most like technically savvy dish that he made for us the whole night.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was incredible. So he had this little piece of squid and just kind of
Tenderized it.
tenderized it with his chef's knife without breaking any of the pieces off.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it, but anyways, he tenderized it, torched it, served it in a nice little crisp nori with some warm rice and more of that gochugaru, the Korean
The
pepper.
Korean pepper, yeah. And also just, yeah, fantastic. Delicious.
Yeah, I mean, come on. So good. It's like candy.
Uh, and then from there, we had the mystery fish because we don't know how to say the name.
Yeah, it was a long one. There was a little bit of a language barrier. I think we got most of it, but this one, the local fish names,
Yeah.
yeah, were a little bit more difficult to understand. But this one was great, and it was topped with yuzu, which I mean, I love.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
I mean, you can top a piece of garbage with yuzu, and I'll probably eat it.
Mm. I don't know if I like yuzu that much, but sure.
You're right.
Yeah, then after that, getting towards the end of the meal, he gave us our unagi course, which is eel, which was fantastic. It was caramelized, it was sweet and tender, and every bit as good as I was hoping it to be.
Yeah, I love how he prepared this one also on this little kind of like little fire for it.
Yeah,
It's like its own little
it
personal.
was like a mini grill almost. It was really,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was very cute. But yeah, I love unagi, especially when it gets like that nice caramel
yeah.
flavor.
Hmm.
And put that in a hand roll. What did we have next, chef?
We had to finish off the omakase. We had Zoe's second least favorite dish, which is foie gras.
What? I mean, who are you speaking for?
We've had foie gras before. You didn't necessarily like it.
I've never had it prepared this way. And
No, this
also,
was a different way to prepare it. I agree.
after I learned how it is made, I feel like I can't say I like it.
Okay. I loved it.
You know, it's illegal in New York now.
It is illegal in New York. I
For good
agree.
reason. It was a maguru roll topped with a foie gras medallion.
Yeah. And the foie gras was unbelievable. I mean, this was just the epitome of flavor and deliciousness.
It was quite the bomb, honestly. He rolled this maguru roll up in such a delicate little package and then topped it with the medallion on top and then torched it. And it just kind of all melted together.
Hmm.
And you put it in your mouth, and it was just like an explosion,
Yeah.
actually.
Unbelievable.
But those poor ducks. Oh my God.
It's worth
Makes
it.
me sick.
I think it's worth it. So following this, we moved on to our dessert courses.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite parts of the meal, and the pastry chef was also incredible. She was so sweet, came out and met us and showed us what she's serving us for the night. Our first dessert was called a raspberry insert with matcha textures. It was this nice little green, I don't know, like cake almost.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, Very good. It was served in one of those little eggs again. I loved this. I love matcha, so we had the trio of desserts to end the meal, and this was my favorite part.
Yeah, we had a yuzu marshmallow.
Marshmallow.
Very interesting way to serve a marshmallow because it has the yuzu sauce infused into it. And when you put it in your mouth, it melts and you get sort of this mixture of sweets and sort of
Yuzu-y.
yuzu flavor, which I actually really liked.
Oh, it was great. I wish I could have a whole bag of those to take home.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
really
that was
good.
like the best marshmallow I've ever had in my life.
And then they serve that with a macaroon and also salted caramel as well.
Yeah, I think it was a very beautiful presentation and a great way to end the night. We told her how much we loved the yuzu marshmallow, and she came and brought us more. At that point, I was about to explode. I could barely finish another marshmallow.
So I got both of them, which was great.
I really want it though.
And yeah, that was the end of the night.
We had espresso.
We had espressos to finish off the meal, and then we asked politely if Chef Granada would take photos with us, which he graciously accepted and came out from behind the bar and took a lot of very nice photos with us.
Yeah, you'll see them in the video. He was so nice. I loved him.
Yeah,
He's great.
yeah. Long meal, right? So it was about 3 hours.
Gosh, we were there for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, the reservation. I forget the reservation. I think was at 7:30, and then we left around 10:30, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So definitely 3 hours. This was the restaurant is inside the hotel, and that's obviously right on the Copacabana beach. And so when we left the hotel, there was tons of people out. Everyone was getting ready to go out and have their evening fun. So it was no problem getting our Uber Black back to the Fairmont.
Yeah, I think the nightlife definitely ramps up at crazy late hours there. So we were ready for bed at that point though, for sure.
So what do you think about the restaurant? What would you rate it?
Ooh, so on a scale of 0 to 10, I would probably give it an 8.
An 8.
Yeah. I think it was an incredible first omakase experience. Loved the chef, loved the ambiance, loved, the front of house guy and the pastry chef. Everybody was very kind.
Yeah, I think 8 is fair. I would probably say 7.5.
Mm.
Like I said, yeah, just like Zoe is saying, the service was fantastic. My chef, Mike Granada, was unbelievable. He was so polite and gracious and made our dining experience fantastic. Um, yeah, so I would definitely go back. It was the price point was great and the food was fantastic. Yeah, so I thought it was an excellent experience.
Yeah, I would love to compare this 1-star omakase to maybe more of like a 2-star, 3-star to see truly what the difference is because I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it was all great. The fish was incredible, all from Japan and
Hmm.
local fish. So I'd be curious.
Yeah. I think you'll get a different idea of the meal we had at Oro in our next episode, which, I thought obviously had a completely different vibe than this one, omakase versus a more traditional Michelin style restaurant.
Yeah, I loved Oro. That was a great restaurant also.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, but also the food was incredible. We also did the chef's table there, so I'm really excited to talk about that.
Yeah.
Don't skip on the wine pairing, I'll say it now.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us on our second episode of Rezzies and Redeyes, where we went into our experience at Me, which is the 1-star Michelin restaurant at the Copacabana Palace in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, we loved sharing all of this with you guys. I really hope, if you're in Rio, you should definitely try it out. If you have any questions about the omakase experience, we'd love to answer them. Or if you have any future recommendations for us, please share them.
Yeah. So please rate, subscribe, and review our podcast. You can also find us on our YouTube channel as well. We'll see you guys for the next episode where we go over our 2-star mission experience at Oro.
All right. See you guys later.
Okay. Sign us off, baby. Good job, baby.